Welcome everybody. I hope you can see and hear us clearly. If you'd like to start putting a little thumbs up in the chat if you can, and we'll get started. Yeah, thank you so much everybody for joining. We really appreciate you joining this session. Just to kind of kick off, we'd love it if you could maybe pop in the chat what university you're currently attending, if you're in your first or second year, just so we can start getting an idea of who's on the call. But yeah, I'll kick off. So I'm Steph. I'm the Early Careers Recruitment Specialist here at Publicis Sapient. I've been with the firm a year and a half now. And I'm really excited to talk to you today about Publicis Sapient, who we are, and the Early Careers Programme. I'm joined by my colleague Lulu for the first part of the presentation, who is also part of the Early Careers team and helps facilitate the recruitment as well. You'll also get to hear from some of our wonderful grads a little bit later. They will introduce themselves and we'll have some time at the end for a Q&A. So what I'm going to kind of talk through today is a little bit about who we are. We'll then kind of take you through the grad sort of journey, and then some opportunities, how to apply, next steps, and then, as I mentioned, some Q&A. So as we go through the presentation, feel free to start putting questions in the chat, and we will come to those as we get to that Q&A section a little bit later on. So some of you may have heard of us, some of you might not. Publicis Sapient might be quite new to you, but we are a digital consultancy. So we work with clients all over the world. We've got 20,000 employees, or over 20,000 employees, and we've got, I think, 53 offices globally now. So we're mainly today talking about our UK opportunities, and yeah, we kind of work with our clients on their digital initiatives, their products and programs. The way we kind of do it is a little bit different. So you've got your startup companies, you've got your consultancies, you've got your tech companies and your creative agencies. Well, we bring all of these aspects together and kind of put ourselves in the middle. So we have a startup mindset, but bringing that consultancy and tech aspect together with that creative side. We'll talk a little bit more as we go through on how we work together to really kind of make the best outcome for our clients. When you join us, you will work beside and learn from people and experts across all different teams. So we work in what we call multidisciplinary teams. So whatever kind of stream you join in, you will work with people from other capabilities. So we've got our strategy and consulting, really understanding that customer and building that strategy for our customer journey. We've got our experience team, so really designing and building that creative side of the product or program, looking at that user experience as well. You've got our product side, so driving that transformation, really leading that outcomes and delivering in sort of speed and quality. And then our technology, which encompasses sort of our engineering and data aspects. So building the technology, really measuring and driving the success of what we are doing and how we are working with our clients. So you will have a big influence on some of the world's biggest brands. And throughout the internship, you'll get exposure to the types of problems that we've worked on with our clients. On the graduate program, by month 2, you'll be working on these clients, and you'll get to rotate across different clients throughout your time at Publicis Sapient. You can see down the side there a few of our companies that we work with, some of their brand logos. I'm sure you recognize some of those. We do work across multiple industries, so we have clients across consumer products, energy and commodities, financial services, health, public sector, retail, telecom, media and technology, transportation and mobility, and travel and hospitality. You will have the opportunity to work across different industries as well and different clients within those. Next up, I'm going to show you a short video that will just kind of showcase some of the work that we've done. And again, you'll see some of the clients in there and spot some of the brands that you might know. So hopefully that's going to play for you now.
People applied
for the best jobs in the world. 'Awesome. Thank you. So hopefully you recognise some of the brands there and see some of the work that has been done by Publicis Sapient and the sort of work that you could get involved in. We've got a lot of case studies that we talk about on our website for you to see. I've picked out a few here. Just to give you an idea of the sort of work that we do. So one of my favorites is the Amplifon. So it was the world's first app that connects Bluetooth hearing aids, so using AI. So the work we obviously do is for our clients, but a lot of it really does impact individuals and their daily lives. We'll talk a little bit more about our social media a little bit later on and how you can find out more about us. But on there, you'll see an impact film that we recently did, again, talking about some of the work that we've done that really impacts people's day-to-day lives. So really bringing that digital aspect with our clients to transform them. So I'm going to pass over now to Lulu, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our early careers programs.
Thanks, Steph. So moving on then, a little bit about the programs in which we offer. So we offer both internships and grad programs, and there are a number of different ways that I think makes ours slightly unique. Firstly, being the onboarding experience. So we really take the time to give you the opportunity to learn a little bit more about the company first, build your network, have those conversations, and be introduced a little bit more to what it is that your role is and the impact that it has within the company. And then our approach to learning. So we follow the 70-20-10, 70% through your experience. That is where you can gain so much information. 20% through your peers. We work in teams. Why not kind of utilize that? And then 10% through formalized training. And with our company, you get access to lots of different learning platforms, and most specifically our internal platform, which is our Marcel Learning, which has loads of different courses, aside from your everyday capability as well, just to kind of develop those skill sets. And then your own potential. So the growth, it's your career. We want you to own it. So setting you up with the kind of guidance to do so, but having those clear timeframes, framework and goals to really drive your career to make it as and how successful as you wish. And then your impact. So the trust here as well. By month 2 of joining, you are really kind of a crucial, pivotal member to any team that you join, and having those engagements with lots of different exciting clients. So moving on a little bit towards our grad scheme. So this is one of the programs that we have. So it's a development program, and it's 3 years. I say development because if you were to join, it would be that you have the opportunity to progress within that. So having that opportunity to earn your own career in terms of your potential as well. You'll have the opportunity to have lots of different learning. So when you first join, part of the onboarding experience is structured learning. And again, it's still following that 70-20-10 model. You're mentored by experts. So we work in multidisciplinary teams, and why not have that mentorship as well across creatives, technologists, strategists, and product managers who all come together to really produce the successful work that we do as a company. Training as well. One of our core values is a learning mindset, and so we want you to really kind of excel within that. And learning and development, so you'll have the opportunity to have access to an EC coach who's specifically there to help you and guide you along the process, as it may seem quite daunting when you first leave university. And then secondly, so the other schemes that we offer are internships here. So this is a paid internship, starts at the end of June. It's 10 weeks long, and it gives you the opportunity to see what it would be like if you were to join full time. So we've set it up so that it kind of mirrors all of the fun aspects of Publicis Sapient, but also all of that really key learning and progression within softer skills, and also those capability skills that you develop. So it's 10 weeks. The first 5 is heavily focused on training. So you'll have expert training within your capability, whether that's within product or engineering, for instance. And then you'll be able to spend the next 5 weeks actually implementing that and putting it towards a project before then presenting back to senior business leaders who you will be able to kind of showcase how successfully you've completed the challenge. The beauty of the internship as well is the fact that there is the chance at the end to potentially come back full time, subject to your graduation dates. And that is an opportunity that is there at the end of the 10 weeks. Amongst that, there's lots of other social aspects as well. So lots of key opportunities for you to kind of meet people across Publicis Sapient. So this is a question we get asked a lot, what your typical day may look like. And the honest answer is it's really different depending on which client you're on and kind of what your role within that is. But you can expect the following. So we work in an agile way here at PS. So you'll have a stand-up. It might be in the morning, it might be in the afternoon, depending on when suits your client and your team individually. You're likely to have some aspect of knowledge sharing across the team. So this could be in kind of a huddle, a kind of group collaboration, that problem solving sessions to really kind of drive a project forwards. You'll have a one-to-one with your manager. We call these our O3s, one-to-one, the 3 O's there. And then our teams channels communication, where you can catch up on all things to do with the wider community at Publicis Sapient. Might spend a bit of time doing that before then hitting lunchtime with your colleagues and having a team lunch. And then the afternoon is filled with the likes of a client meeting, for instance, where you can demonstrate and showcase the work that you're doing, where you've got to, and obviously where we are agile, have those conversations. And similarly have check-ins with your early careers coach as well. And then lastly, the input as well. So as I mentioned, you have valuable input, and so having those decisions on different database suggestions, for instance, within the engineers, or design decisions if you're within product, for instance. And passing back over to Steph then on our values.
Awesome, thank you, Lulu. So these are our core values. You may have come across these if you've done any research on Publicis Sapient. What was really cool about our core values is that people in the business helped design these. It wasn't just leadership that sort of decided what they were going to be. It was a collaborative a form of how these were produced, and really kind of encompasses what we're doing. So that inclusive collaboration, embracing that future, the learning mindset that Lulu touched upon, partnering for our client impact, and really engaging with openness. And we try and live by these as we go through the work internally and also with our clients. So making sure we're really driving the teams for success. A big thing about Publicis Sapient and what we do is that flexibility to give back to the community as well as doing the work that we're doing. So we've partnered with a number of charities, and we do a number of sort of corporate social responsibility days that you can get involved in. You'll also have days that form part of your holiday allowance. You can take a day in addition to that to go and do some charity work. So these are a few of our charities that we've worked with that we do, because really giving back to people is a key part of Publicis Sapient and who we are. As part of the internship, you will do 2 CSR days. Last year we had our interns go to some food banks and give some food out there, helping them in the delivery rooms as well. And they also did a walk to raise money for a homeless charity as well. So lots of opportunity to give back as well. We also have business resource groups, which I think is a really great thing that we have at Publicis Sapient. So these really are there to support you in your everyday kind of aspirations. Lots of people from lots of different backgrounds at Publicis Sapient, and we've got a number of different business resource groups that are really there to bring about this community and celebrate different things at Publicis Sapient. So these are just a few of our business resource groups here. Anybody can be a part of any of them. We do a number of different things throughout the year with our business resource groups. They run a number of social events as well as sort of LinkedIn Lives, training sessions. So we've got Enable, Embrace, Headline, Viva Women and Egalite that we've just picked out here as a few of our ones. Our grads have actually been involved in a number of these business resource groups, as well as creating some of their own. So from day one, a part of the internship or graduate program, should you choose to join us, you will have the opportunity to be part of these. You can also just attend the events and the sessions that they put on throughout the year without being a part of the group themselves. So I know, for instance, for January, we've got some pause at work, so some puppy therapy as part of our headline group coming in. And I think last year in January, we did some yoga disco and things like that. There's been lots of different things happening throughout the year in terms of sessions on those that have like hearing difficulties and how we can support them throughout the recruitment process and generally in the business. And then, yeah. So moving on, I'm going to introduce our graduates that have joined us today. So they're going to just say hello, and they'll be around for questions at the end. But as I mentioned, if you do have questions, please feel free to start popping them in the chat. So yeah, over to you guys. Aisha, do you want to kick off?
Yes, hi, I'm Isha, and I went to Queen Mary's. I graduated with computer systems engineering. I did the internship in the summer of 2021, and I joined Publicis October 2022.
Hey guys, I'm Will. I graduated from University of Nottingham in 2022. The same as Isha, I did the internship in 2021 and joined Publicis in 2022 in October.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel. I graduated from Southampton in economics and philosophy, and I joined Sapient in 2021. I am a product manager, as it says there, and I'm currently on the Marks and Spencer's account.
Hi all, I'm Katie. I graduated in 2021 at the University of Hertfordshire. I did graphic design. I'm now a level 1 experience designer at Sapient, and I started in October 2021.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for being around for our questions. So yeah, as I mentioned, if you start to get questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. It's a great opportunity to ask these guys who have done the internship and are on the graduate program questions that you're dying to know about the program. So I'm going to show you another short video now, which is from some of our graduates talking about their experience and things that they've been involved in.
Hey everyone, I'm here to answer some of the questions y'all may be curious about.
I've learned a lot about working with and leading teams, but more importantly, how to communicate efficiently with those teammates and clients.
The opportunity to join Chicago's office leadership team and the planning committee for Women's Leadership Network have improved my leadership and teamwork skills.
What I admire the most is the people. The group of new hires that started with me are some of my best friends today.
And the fact that my first full-time job is full of good memories is pretty awesome.
The importance given to learning, inclusion, no discrimination on basis of color or sexual orientation, and to employee growth.
As a young professional, the exposure you will get to different industries and people is unmatched elsewhere.
The company not only looks at preparing you to work well with your peers professionally, but they also focus on caring for people outside of work. For example, there are BRGs and they all assign you a buddy. The BRGs are business resource groups, which remind me of university societies where you meet with people who are similar or share the same interests as you. They hold events for everyone in the company and spread awareness of issues and also provide support.
We're going to get to work on some really innovative projects. We're doing a lot of good work in blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, using the modern engineering practices with product mindset.
And this very open, collaborative, and super supportive environment is what I really love about Publicis Sapient. You become a valuable part of your team, and your opinion and your voice really, really matters.
You'll have the chance to work with some really big clients on exciting projects and meet a lot of great people.
If you are someone who's interested in consulting with a focus in technology, then Publicis Sapient can be a great company for you.
Publicis is the company that, is home.
Working at this company can be one of the best decisions in anybody's professional career path.
Perfect.
Thank you. So I'm going to pass back over to Lulu, who's going to talk us through some of the areas that we hire into and some of the vacancies and application process now.
Thanks. So as Steph mentioned early on, these are specifically within the UK. We do have international offices, but what I'm talking about now relates to our UK programs. So we offer a number of different grad and internships. So the graduate roles fall within our data science, analytics, software engineering, technology and engineering, 2 product roles, so product management and agile program management, and then UX and product design. So as you can imagine, with a number of different vacancies, it's a very nice grad cohort with lots of people for you to kind of meet and become great colleagues and friends with. And then in terms of the internships, so we offer 3, software engineering, and then the 2 product roles, so product management and agile program management as well. And those are the ones that are 10 weeks across the summer, starting at the end of June. At the moment, we currently have the following opportunities open, and you can get access to these via the targetjobs platform, but also our website as well. So software engineering and then the 2 product roles. You'll be able to find out information about deadlines and that sort of thing on the website too. If those aren't to your interest at the moment, but you are more around the kind of UX and product design side of things, we will be opening these shortly. So keep your eyes peeled because the first place they'll go is the targetjobs and also our website as well. You can kind of navigate and find out a bit more as well, and the case studies that we have on our website. So speaking about applying then, I thought it'd be good to have some application hints and tips for success. So starting with hints, so highlight your skills. Can't say it more in terms of interns as well. So you will have relevant work experience, might not be paid, but transferable skills. So highlight those on your CV and bring in those diverse examples when interviewing. Investigate. So our people and our case studies, how best to find out about a company is through the people that already work there. You can do this through various different avenues online. My advice would be to look at the website first of all, where you can find out about the really cool work. Steph touched upon some of them, but there are numerous others on our website. Notes then, note take when the deadlines are, when do you need to apply by, is there a coding assessment that you need to complete, what's the deadline for that. Making those notes will make sure you don't miss the deadlines and will ensure that you have the opportunity to continue to kind of go through the process. And also have a pen and paper when you're interviewing, particularly with a technical interview, jotting things down. You might be able to jot down a few questions that you can then ask the interviewer at the end as well. So it's crucial to take notes and then take your time when applying and answering. So it's more than okay to take a breather, have a few moments before you answer a question. You're more likely to probably give a better example and better answer. So don't panic and feel you have to answer immediately. And then also when applying, have the time to read through your application, check there's no grammatical errors, and really kind of showcase your best first impression by having just a little bit of time to kind of reflect on what you may have just automatically submitted. Speak clearly and confidently. We do know it's nerve-wracking when you interview, but you've done so well to get to an interview. So kind of have that behind you, kind of bringing your confidence, and then you'll be able to really showcase exactly what you've done in the past without feeling quite nervous because you've done so well to get to the interview. And then over to tips. So to be you is the best version of you. We want to see you, not something that in terms of particularly when you're applying or interviewing that you're saying just for the sake of saying. Your version of you is the best version. So come to the interview prepared to kind of speak about yourself and how you would approach a challenge or task, for instance. Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. These are our social platforms which we feature across heavily. It's quite easy to look at a company website, take that step further, have a look properly at the various different things that are going on, and bring those, particularly something that resonates with you, to an interview and have that conversation. It will probably take nerves off as well, because you're able to kind of divert back to a little bit that you've learned about. Prepare questions. Interviewing is a two-way street, and applications are a two-way street. So make sure it's the company and the role for you as well. So have these questions. They can be as small as, what do you most enjoy about your job? Just having those to kind of get a gauge of what people feel about the role, company, and that sort of thing will really set you in good stead to understanding whether it's the right role for you. And then lastly, smile and relax. As I said, interviews can be nerve-wracking, but they don't have to be. It's a conversation, and we're looking for potential. An interviewer is there to kind of get the best examples out of you. And so make sure that you're kind of engaged, showcasing that you are enthusiastic, and just a more relaxed interview will always put you in good stead moving forwards. So those are our hints and tips across our process, particularly. And then we thought it'd be good to just give you a bit of an understanding of what it's like if you were to apply. So the application process is a 3-step or 2-step, depending on whether you're applying for the product role or the engineering internship. So all of our applications are reviewed on an individual basis by someone within our team. So we'll sit through and review your application. All things going well in terms of eligibility, the next stage would be a 15-minute conversation via a phone screen. This is a chance for you to ask those questions, and also a chance for you to find out a little bit more around us, the company, and the role. And then all things going well, the next stage would be for our engineers, an online test. It's a coding test that you're able to complete within any programming language that you like. And then it would be over to the final stage for a behavioural interview. And this is, again, within someone within our team who is looking to find out a bit more about your experience, and then all things going well, hopefully a successful outcome. And then lastly, before we move on to our Q&A, the graduate process as well, for your reference. So it's slightly different in that you have similar stages, but a few extras as well. So again, the applications are all reviewed on an individual basis. You'll have the phone screen, and then engineers have an online test. Before then, you have both a domain interview and a behavioural interview. Our domain is our technical interview, and this is with the individual capability that you're applying for. And then the final stage is our makeathon, and it's a really fun, interactive assessment style. It's a group exercise, and the chance for you to collaborate with potential future colleagues as well. And then all things, again, going well, would be the final stage. So as I mentioned, that's all of the information we want to share at the moment. So we're going to pause now for the Q&A with our grads. So if you'd like to put any questions in the chat, you can put them in either the questions. I can see we've got 5, which is amazing, or the chat. So I will check between the two. But I'm going to ask the grads to come back now to answer all of your amazing questions. Okay, perfect. So the first question that we've got in the chat, or they move up and down. The first question is around sponsorship. So I don't know whether Steph, you want to answer this, or I'm happy to answer this one.
Yeah, I can answer it. So at the moment, it's not something we are able to sponsor for our graduate programme. That's because we have lots of graduate programmes around the globe, so we don't want to be competitive of our other regions that are also hiring for our early careers programme. That being said, if anything was to change, we could we'll be making that
noted on our application form. If you want to ask any particular questions around it, or if you're not sure if you have sponsorship kind of post that, then obviously feel free to get in touch.
Thank you. So I'm going to just direct this. I'm going to probably pick a grad for this one. So Josephine's asked, how often do you work physically in the office and at home? So it does depend on your team, but just to give a couple of examples, I don't know if Rachel want to go first, and then we'll explain from your stance as well.
So I honestly, it differs. So typically I'm in twice a week, but then sometimes the client might say, oh, hey, can we have this meeting in person? So I was in on Tuesday, which is a day I'm never normally in the office, because that was a 3-hour in-person client meeting that I needed to attend. But yeah, normally on Thursdays is quite a popular day to be in at the Sapient office. So I think sometimes it's once a week at client, once a week at Sapient, but then, yeah, it changes every week, basically, is the short answer for me.
Yeah, for me, it's quite similar to Rachel. It's about twice a week on average. It's Thursday. That's some time to go to the pub after, which is very nice. Catch up with everyone. But then for me as well, part of the Lloyds, and Lloyds a Halifax. So I'll in the near future I'll probably be travelling up there maybe every 2 weeks. So it really depends on what's here. And then if you are required to travel, outside of London, to support you with that and give you fees. So that's not an issue.
Perfect. Thanks, Phil. So Aisha, then, roughly how big are the teams that you're working in, and do you get to collaborate with international offices?
In terms of the teams, it really depends on which account you're on. So I am on Lloyds, and so is Will. And because Lloyds is one of the bigger accounts that we have, I have heard that some teams do get up to 20 members, but that doesn't mean you're going to collaborate with all of them. But on a smaller scale, on a day-to-day, you will have interaction with maybe 4 to 5 of them. And it depends on the account, as I said. And in terms of international, there are accounts that are not based in the UK. So you do have to work according to their timings, and sometimes you do get to travel to their offices if it's needed. But that's all I know for now.
Perfect. No, thank you. As I said, it really just depends. You could have an account that is based in Europe, and therefore you have to go and meet the team, or similarly. But we are a global company, so there's always the opportunity to kind of connect through Teams, for instance. And then, okay, so I'm going to pass this one to Katie. How would you suggest that they stand out from other applicants if they've got no prior experience? So how do you think it's best to kind of showcase that?
Good question. So when I applied, so I'm an experienced grad, I didn't actually have any experience before starting. I just did graphic design at uni, and there's like slight differences. So there was a lot of like gaps in my knowledge. So I was a bit like worried when applying that I wouldn't have enough experience. But I think it's just about like being yourself in the interviews, even though like they're very like obviously want to know what stuff you've done before. It's more just about like you as a person. Like if you can sort of be yourself in an interview and sort of they get to understand you as a person, like it's like how would be someone that they want to work with. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's like you can always learn more about the job and learn more about design or sort of whatever role you take. But it's just that being a person that's like friendly and someone to talk to, I think is like really key.
Perfect. Thanks, Katie Louise. So this one is for all of you, really. And maybe we can go along on my screen. It's Will, then Aisha, then Ray, then Katie Louise. So what's been your favourite moment at Publicis Sapient so far?
I think my favourite was, so I participated in a that was sponsored and we did the branding for. That was a collaborative with Lloyds, so I'm on the Lloyds account. And it was just a really good experience because my first job, they always offered it at uni, and I sort of thought, well, not for me, but at Publicis you're really encouraged to go your comfort zone stuck in, which is definitely something that I really like the company philosophy. And just like the whole experience of programming team people that I'd only spoken to a handful of times. And we got shortlisted, so we did okay, which I was quite happy with.
Amazing. Aisha?
Yeah, I think personally I will have to say the social events, obviously. I'm not just saying it's but sometimes it's really good opportunity to network as well. So we had this one networking event with all our managers and seniors, and we got to meet them, ask them questions, get to know them a little bit more, and the projects that we'll be working on as well. And that's something that was very interesting for me.
Amazing. Ray?
So Sapient have a really cool scheme called Work Your World, where you get to work remotely for 6 weeks. And so I did that last year in October, November, December time, because it kind of spread over 3 months. And yeah, I think that was my highlight. I was still working on quite a big project. We had our go live date whilst I was out there, but at the same time, I was like enjoying myself, so being able to like have a big impact at work, but still enjoy myself in my free time.
Perfect. Thank you, Louise.
I think the biggest thing for me is, apart from like the social aspect of Sapient and like the people, like the best experience I've had, or like the coolest experience, is when you finally work on a project that's like, the client like from your day-to-day life, and now you're actually working with that client, and then you get to work on their products, and then when you actually get to see that stuff go live that you've worked on, is like super surreal.
I can imagine saying the impact that you're having. We've had another follow-up question, Ray, as to where did you work your world?
I was in Australia, which had quite a fun time zone, we can put it like that. So I did have to do some crazy late meetings, but it was definitely worth it. Like, I can go into more detail if anyone wants to reach out on LinkedIn or anything, but yeah, it was in Australia. I got to go to the Melbourne office and visit what Sapient's like down there. Lots of meetings from home, and then the occasional like meeting in a park because it was really sunny and nice.
Really did work your world. Okay, so then Will and Aisha, obviously you were on the internship. So we've had a question. How has the internship helped you join the grad scheme? Like in joining the grad scheme, what do you think you kind of took away from the internship that you've now put into your grad scheme? I know you only joined in October, but so far.
I'll go first. So I think the main thing I took away was just how offices work and how we work in a team. Because in your internship, it is, although it's not one-to-one, it's very you get the same feel. It's about as close as you can get to how it is to work in a team in Publicis. So having that experience before coming in was really cool. Just I had a sort of understanding of how I'd be working, what my role would be, and stuff, which helps when I join.
Perfect.
I think the internship so one of the favorite parts about the internship was shadowing, and that really helped you to understand how projects really work. You'll get to follow the people who work on these projects, coding day to day, because we are software engineers, so we had to follow engineers, and we see their daily stand-ups and how their day-to-day life is, and that kind of gave us an insight into how the grad scheme would be and how we would be part of that, the projects that we will take when we come back. That was very helpful and useful as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Aisha. So this one may be targeted towards our software engineers, but to anyone else who may have had the opportunity to work on this type of project. So one of the questions is, have any of you worked on a blockchain or DLT project with a client?
I have I haven't, but I know a bit about the building blocks team, so I can. Okay, yeah.
Yes, please.
So we're in Katie and I's cohort of the grad scheme. There are some people who really enjoyed blockchain and really enjoy, all that stuff. And so it started as just like a learning group where they can discuss different things about blockchain, and it's just evolved and evolved. And now there's like clients that we've managed to procure as a result of that building blocks team. They've got to go to Chicago and give talks and have like their own stand in this blockchain convention. And there's work. Don't know what I can say about the work actually, because I don't know how much is signed off. But there's lots of different pieces of work in the running around blockchain, and it's definitely thriving. But I think it's really cool that was kind of started. And there was a massive impact from just a group of grads who thought it was interesting.
Perfect. That kind of resonates what Steph was saying about the BRGs and how they came about. And another question actually factors within the BRGs. So Casey Weeks, please could you kindly say whether you attended any BRG events, and if so, what they are, or more generally, which events have you attended and which have been your favourite?
Yeah, I've attended a few. I've attended some Embrace events and some headline events. One to note would have been, I think it was maybe last year. We did sort of an exercise class thing outside. So we all went, I think it was with Headline, went out to like a park that was near the office, and we got an instructor to like run an exercise class. I think it was during lunchtime. So then we all were there like sweating in the sun, like doing this workout all together, which was actually really fun.
Oh, perfect. Has anyone else got any examples of events that they've particularly enjoyed?
I think there are often like the Black History Month one where we got like free cocktails, and that was a lot of fun. There was a band there. There's often things which are online which you can join in on, or like yoga sessions and things like that. I think for Pride this year we had a quiz, and there's so many socials that sometimes it's hard to remember which one was through the BRG and which one was just because we had a social.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Are there any more questions that we have got from our listeners? At the moment, I think that's it. But if anyone has any more, please feel free to put them in the chat. Give it. But otherwise, I will pass back to Steph if there are no more questions. There is a question, and I'm happy to answer this one as it's around applications. So it's, are you allowed to apply for more than one programme? You are allowed to apply for more than one. However, when you get to the phone screen, as there is a difference between some of the programmes in terms of the application process, that would be the stage at which you'd need to make a decision. Because, for instance, our data don't take the same tests that our engineers do. And vice versa. So yes, you can apply to more than one, but by the time that you have the phone screen, we will be asking you which would be your preference as to the one you'd like to continue with. I hope that clarifies. Another question, what are the available roles? So the available roles are still on our website. They are factoring within the internship vacancies. So these are our software engineering and our two product roles, so product management and agile program management, sorry. And they are still currently live until the end of this month. So if you are going to apply, make sure you do so soon. This is a great question. So the question is, and I'm going to ask, and it's going to be the last question, but I'm going to ask perhaps maybe, Will, if you were to talk about the internship, what you would do in terms of applying, and then maybe Katie Louise, I'll ask you. So if you could go back to when you applied, what would you do that was the same, and what would you do differently?
Ooh, it's a tough question. What, 2 years ago now? If I think back to when I applied, I'd say I think something that I was happy that I did was proactive. I applied quite early, which definitely helped me sort of get the role, and also to be a bit more going into the new year, into the new year, thinking, oh, okay, I've got secured for the summer. I think if we did something differently, can't think really, because at the time it was all COVID, so it was all online, all very very much through Teams. But I think if maybe it was now times where we're out of the pandemic and able to see face to face, I think definitely something that I would do differently would have been coming into the office a lot more throughout the internship, and then maybe grab the applications, have a look at the office, and yeah.
Perfect. And then Katie Louise, if I know it was some time ago, again, but the grad scheme, please.
Yeah. What would I've done the same? I think it's a good question. The same. I think, to be fair, like the interview process itself was really good in my perspective, and I think like most of it went quite well. So I think in that case, just like sort of like I said before, like be yourself, and sort of I think what I would have done differently is had more confidence in myself. I think that's one of the things that sort of being the first time or first few times I'd applied to jobs, I think you can let the scariness of an interview sort of overtake you a little bit. So I think like just know that the Sapient interview process compared to other places that I applied was more like you're having a chat with someone over like speaking to a scary person in front of you. So I think like just like take it like quite calmly and just be like, just take it chill, like you're having a conversation with someone rather than like this person is really authoritative and scary.
Perfect. Yeah, an interview is just a conversation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's the nerves around it that change that. So I know I said last question, but we actually just got a few final questions in there. So I can answer this one. So do you need to go through the intern role before proceeding to the graduate role? Absolutely not. Our graduate vacancies at the moment are currently closed. So it is the internship roles that are actively open at the moment, but you do not need to. So if we've got any kind of first, second years on the call, you can apply directly to the grad role, having not done an internship with us. And then lastly, the full-time opportunity is based on the internship process feedback, or is there a different application? So in essence, the internship, I guess, forms part of the graduate application process if you've done the internship. So no, you don't need to go back through the application process. You're assessed in different ways across the internship, which then feed into the possibility of coming back on the grad scheme. So no, you don't need to reapply. It's a case of completing the internship successfully. So I think that was all the questions, and probably to time as well. So I'm going to hand back over to Steph, but I just want to say a massive thank you to our lovely 4 grads who have answered all your questions. And if anyone has any other questions that they think of, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm sure myself or Steph would be able to get the answers back to you. So thank you so much for your help, guys. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll pass back to Steph.
Yeah, thank you so much for all of the questions there, and for those wonderful answers. Like Lulu said, if you do have any final questions, please feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to answer those. Myself and Lulu's details for LinkedIn are there. As we mentioned before, we do encourage you to have a look at our Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube channels to find out more about us, alongside our website and alongside our page on Target Jobs, where you can find out more about what's going on and be the first to know when our vacancies go live as well. And yeah, thank you very much for attending today's session. It's been great to be able to present to you And we really do hope to see you soon and see your applications come through. So thank you very much, and take care, everybody.